Roll.
Okay guys, great to be here in Plymouth. This is an area I'm actually genuinely excited about. I'm excited about Exeter or parts of Exeter too, but for different reasons. So Plymouth, if we go back a few years, 2014, UKIP, remember them? Back in the day, they did not typically do well in university cities. Plymouth broke that trend when UKIP got 3 councillors elected back in 2014. I'm a bit jealous of you guys here because Exeter was 55% Remain, Plymouth has more guts and was 60% Leave. So well done, you guys. But since then, UKIP are gone. They're dead. The party has just Anne-Marie was right. The knives are out for Gerald Batten. He's gone. I think anyone who was clued up on Islam and mass immigration and willing to speak out about these issues purposefully, it has been forced out of UKIP almost. Absolutely. So, for instance, this affects. It's not as bad down here in the southwest, but it is affecting us too. Just over 10 years ago now, we had the attempted suicide bombing in Exeter. In more recent years in Plymouth, one of the students, who was a dental student at the university, got done for funding ISIS. I've seen in Exeter more recently, it's come out that our local mosque is being financed by an Al-Qaeda supporter. I've seen firsthand, I've had homophobic abuse from Muslims in the street. I had girls tell me they've been sexually harassed on nights out by Middle Eastern men, so men from countries with no women's rights. We've had, in East Devon, other places like Newton Abbot as well, but in the news recently there have been gangs of Eastern Europeans distracting elderly people and pickpocketing and so on. These are the sorts of people we should be deporting, not some black elderly pensioners from the Windrush generation, as Theresa May would have us believe. Now, Plymouth, at the moment, you guys, it's more or less the same in Exeter, the whole country is lumbered with the two-party state. It's Labour, Tory, and certainly on a local level, it makes no difference whatsoever. So, who has Luke Pollard as their local MP? I take it he's not too popular around here.
No.
Guys, think how I feel. We've in Exeter had to put up with Ben Bradshaw for 20 years.
Someone's got to bear that, right?
He's exactly the same. He's just an overly woke, anti-Brexit Labour MP. He doesn't like me. He did condemn me in the Devon Live, if you saw that article. There was a quote from him in the windows of a solicitor's firm saying that we need to do more for non-binary people. And I was like, Ben, there are 2 genders, Ben. 2! And then I got banned from Facebook. But believe me, guys, Johnny Mercer, I know some people here voted for him because they didn't have much choice, but Johnny Mercer is not much better. He was really grilled by Ian Hislop on Have I Got News For You over his financial shenanigans. He did not campaign for Brexit. He was a Remain voting MP in a Leave voting constituency. Now, okay, he kind of accepted the result and seemed to want to enact it, and I respect those Remain voters who do that. But as far as I know, he did not vote for a no-deal Brexit, and he does not understand the feelings, the hopes and fears of the people of Plymouth like we do, the Leave voters. And as well as that, one positive thing people say about Johnny Mercer is he's a veteran and he always stands up for other veterans. No, he does not. Northern Ireland veterans, yes, they should not be taken to court for stuff that happened decades ago without new evidence. Meanwhile, members of the IRA are walking free. But Johnny Mercer has voted against investigations into the Iraq War. The military families, the families of those who died, the veterans who are around today, deserve to know if they were fighting a just war or fighting on behalf, murdering on behalf of corrupt politicians. And I think we all know the answer, and it's about time that people like the traitors like Tony Blair and Ben Bradshaw were held to account on this. Now, even on a local level, sort of the things that in the issues in Devon specifically, we have. I remember when some of the people in front of me were helping me out in one of the recent by-elections in Exeter, saying the state of the pavements, the state of the transport, all these bad things. it's just as bad whether it's Labour are responsible for it or the Tories are responsible for it. So in Exeter we have Exeter City Council is Labour, but Devon County Council is Tory, so they're responsible for different things. But Plymouth, you have the Labour Party responsible for everything. So it doesn't matter who gets in. You still see, public toilets being shut down completely. The Labour and Tories voted together to keep our public toilets in Exeter gone. When we've got an ageing population, it's just not nice, really. The crime has been, which I touched on earlier, has been going up from burglaries in Barnstaple. I think, wasn't somebody murdered in Newton Poppleford recently?
Yes.
I don't know all the details about that, so I probably shouldn't go on. But there was a triple murder in Exeter because the police were incompetent, and this madman had been released twice before he went on to kill 3 elderly people. You had carjackings in Torquay, arson attacks elsewhere in Devon while they're closing down all the fire stations. Your pavements are full of weeds, your roads are full of potholes, the streets are a mess, your schools are no good, so what have we got to lose by voting for a new party like For Britain? And that is only possible when people put themselves forward in local elections. It's just baby steps and gets that ball rolling. We've seen in Exeter, Labour lost some of their safest seats in the city centre, so Newtown and St Leonard's. To give you some idea of how safe this was, the Labour councillor, a couple of years back, a Labour councillor got found out to be a paedophile and had to resign. So when the by-election happened, Labour still held that seat. That's how safe it was, and they lost that one to an independent. So this time round, Labour and Tories were wiped off the map in the city centre, and the ball will keep rolling. And that's in Exeter. Plymouth can change too. You did it before by getting UKIP in. Let's get some For Britain people in. I think Derek is going to be campaigning hard. And just being a paper candidate, just putting your name down, gets our fantastic trident symbol on the ballot paper, so people can send a message to the establishment that they're fed up with the same old nonsense. I mean, to give you some idea of the nonsense I'm talking about, the amount of red tape and regulations. So Exeter City Council have very strict regulations on what you can and can't advertise. You can't, for instance, advertise alcohol on public transport. The East Devon District Council recently decided to keep a rule where the beach huts are only allowed to be pastel colours. And I'm thinking, if somebody wants a black and white beach hut, or a neon green beach hut, or a hot pink sort of pimpy beach hut, they should be allowed to. An Englishman's beach hut is his castle. So yeah, since I have a reputation for burning stuff, if I get into Exeter City Council, there'll be a bonfire of red tape. So, who here wants to stand?
Yeah.
Yep.